Once again, welcome along. And it's your usual two suspects, Mark and Musuku, on the set. Yeah, and Mark, our halftime team talk about the elephants. They are the ones we are going to be looking at, the elephants as well as the wingless Carthage Eagles. And then we are also going to speak to Spain, obviously, in just under an hour's time, who are taking on Saudi Arabia and many more. So, well, we did speak to what really needed to be done in the match preview with regards to German versus Ivory Coast. And you stressed the importance of taking the chances at this level. And that's been the difference in most games that we've watched. We saw the same happen. The Ivory Coast were the ones who won last time out. Ecuador couldn't take their chances, and Ivory Coast took theirs, and they walked away with 3 points. But this time around, apologies for that. This time around, they were the casualties, and I slept. I went to bed fuming because that was a disappointment. That was a game given to German by Ivory Coast. And even at halftime, we stressed the importance of them taking their chances. And we saw Adingra in the 84th minute with the game at his feet, taking a touch effectively. That saw the downfall of the Elephants. I'm putting it down on him personally because, I mean, you got to hit that first time. Why are you taking a touch? Why? So the ball had the momentum. The ball had all the momentum. All it needed was to guide it. Where is it going? We saw Frank Kessié doing the same when Amadi's goal-bound shot was blocked. The only thing he did, Kessié, was to guide the ball. Nothing more. That was a guided strike. But Adingra, in his almighty wisdom, thought it wise to take a touch. I can go on and on and on because I'm still in shock. Unbelievable scenes.
Anyway. We talked about the same during the Senegal game versus France. You said they have played well, but they have not taken their chances. They are not killing the game. That's one thing that we have lacked as Africa. Let me just put that in general. Of course, Tunisia, putting them aside, they have different issues altogether. But for the rest of the teams at this tournament, the Ghanas that we have, the Senegals, even Morocco, they are struggling to kill off games. Of course, with Morocco, their organization and their defense helps them. Yesterday, we came on here at halftime, even before the game started. We talked about how Germany were gettable, they were beatable, and Ivory Coast did just that. We saw the young man Ulai ran the midfield. We saw the importance of their physicality with Ibrahim Sangare and Kessié in the midfield, made the difference. We saw Ahmad and Diomande terrorize the Germans on the break, and that's where they got most of their chances. And even the Adingra chance came on the counter because we knew Germany was going to come onto the Ivorians and try to pin them back. At this level, I'll keep saying this, at this level, you'll be punished. You'll be punished. Not just Adingra, there were a few half chances here and there that you could argue were also just as important. Of course, Adingra's chance was more devastating because of the time at which he had it, and also the XG that it had.
The XG.
Because he just needed to be, like you said, a guided shot. He could have just opened up his body, taken it first time without even taking a first touch. But that shows a player lacking confidence. We saw he joined Sunderland, didn't even finish the season there, went on loan, I think in France, didn't play a lot as well. Hasn't had a good season since that breakout season at Brighton. where he went on to win the Young African Player of the Year at the AFCON. And he hasn't really hit the heights from all that promise. And yesterday showed.
It was it was unbelievable. Cote d'Ivoire literally handed that game on a platter to the Germans to say, "Hey, we can't do
And
anything with it."
and given that Ecuador went on to
Draw.
fumble against Curacao, they were more than confirmed that even a draw would have done them a world of
A whole
good.
lot of good. Yeah, yeah, it would.
The only saving grace is they're playing Curacao at the last group match.
Surely
Of
they got
course,
to win
again
that
they've proved
because the Germans are going
the
to
the thing
use
is the
majority
thing the thing now is Curacao have a chance, so they
to
won't lie
qualify.
down.
Yeah, they do. They do.
If they were beaten by Ecuador, you could argue that they were just playing for pride, they're just having fun. But now they have a chance. They've been given a glimmer of hope by both Ecuador and Ivory Coast.
Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah, yeah. Wow, quite disappointing. Really, quite disappointing. There was nothing fearsome about that German side, but obviously my guy wouldn't have. You see why I was asking all those questions. Mans has only played
And
56
we talked
minutes at
about
the
the
World Cup.
changes. We talked about the changes that
Yeah,
maybe they could do more to combat the midfield battle. They brought on Goretzka, brought on that physicality. They brought on Undav, who's a more box presence, a more natural striker than Havertz. We rarely
yeah,
see Havertz taking shots outside of the box. I
yeah.
don't know if you remember Havertz scoring from outside of the box. He's not that kind of player. He won't take a lot of shots. But we saw Undav uh, do do opposite. We saw him in the box. We saw him outside of the box. That's what a striker does.
That's what a striker does. Unfortunate for the Ivorians, we are left to missed chances, not and chances not taken, as well as opportunities not taken. We hope that the next game, as they go playing Curaçao, they should be able to be organs bracing and take the chances. But anyway, we move on. Verena, we did speak, and I was very, very, very pessimistic. I was thinking they were setting him up ultimately for failure. And well, Japan hit Tunisia for 4. So the Carthage Eagles, who are supposed to be flying high, are apparently winless, and they are going home. 7 World
Um,
Cup. You know what makes it even more damning is they've played at the World Cup 7 times, and they can't just seem to buy a knockout game.
well,
And to add another thing that I've just remembered, sorry, uh, Majibli Hannibal said they are 10 years behind. I was going to ask what about Zambia, but let's not bring in Zambia here. But he says they are 10 years behind.
I remember he made that comment after the Afcon exit, and it was a very scathing comment. From then, I even concluded there's nothing that they're going to do at the World Cup. They are basically going there to be tourists, and it has proven true. They've looked uh, disheartened. Whatever is going on, they don't have the courage to step onto that pitch and leave there. Or whatever is going on with the Tunisian FA, they need to resolve their issues expediently and follow the path that their neighbors in Algeria and Morocco have taken.
Yeah, it's. I don't think there is even much to say there, but yeah, it's sad to see. It's really, really sad to
Also,
see that.
it's unfortunate that they came up against a Japan team who I've picked as one of the dark horses in this tournament. They came into this tournament on great form. They hadn't lost in, I don't, is it 18 games or so? They were
Mm.
unbeaten. They beat Brazil in the friendly. They held they held on to a draw against the, not even held on.
England.
They came back to draw versus the Netherlands in an entertaining opener there in their group. It was a tough ask for Heverena to come in and show up the squad to get a point at least against this Japanese squad, which has been imperious. So
Imperious. It
I
has
don't
been
really
imperious.
put it on Heverena. The damage has already been done.
No, the damage was long done.
They should
Five
have
goals.
gotten him in way before the World Cup, even a month or two before the World Cup. Maybe then it could have been different.
Well, the dying, the Carthage Eagles are not so much of eagles at the moment because they are not even flying at all. But they will be flying back home
They are
definitely. That's
chicken. They are
they
chickening
are
at
they
the
are
World Cup.
yeah, they are chickening out and they'll be flying back home instead of flying into the next round. So much so about them. Another team that seems to be staking their claim for, well, other people's favorites, not the many people's favorites, but other people's favorites. The perennial underachievers, but they achieve but underachieve by not winning anything, and that is the Dutch. They made sure that Sweden and Graham Potter have a taste of their own medicine. So Sweden in their first game hit Tunisia for 5, and they got, well, the same scoreline saved on
They
the
got baptized.
by 5 goals to 1. They were trounced, really trounced. But suffice to say, the result and the scoreline does not tell the whole story of the game, of how the game panned out. But Bruggen, well, was in inspirational form. He must. The Swedish guys must be wondering how that game ended 5 goals to 1. But we are not focusing on them because it's well, they got baptized. Netherlands with a statement win. How big is that win, and how much is that win sending a message to the rest of the competitors at this World Cup?
Well, there are no small teams at this World Cup, and to go on and beat a team 5-1 is no small feat. Be it that their goalkeeper was also on song, uh, it doesn't take away from their clinical performance in front of goal. Brian
Yeah.
Bobby, uh, he shows why he should be starting ahead of the likes of Marlen. He showed his prowess, his box presence, his physicality. Where we saw
Mm,
an excellent display also from Cody Gakpo. I'm sure Slot was proud, was a proud dad when that
it was a
happened.
proud day indeed.
We like we talked about with when the coach was here. We said if the attack of this Netherlands squad kicks on, they can be a very dangerous squad to play against in a
Yeah,
knockout tournament. And
yeah.
this is definitely them staking their claim that they are not here to play, rather to play.
They are not here to play. Yeah, interesting. Where, what do you make of the Ronald Koeman's uh, substitutions and how crucial they were in this game? Particularly that if you're going to win the a major tournament like the World Cup, part of it is down to how your in-game decisions, and we saw how that his in-game decision inspired this Dutch side to that 5-1 victory. How crucial is that going forward for him and the rest of the orange side?
I remember I made a comment on one of the lives. I said tournament football, it will be decided by the kind of quality you're bringing off the bench, because everyone can have a good starting 11, but some players will get tired, especially in this American heat or Mexican heat,
Yeah,
whichever one it is. You're going to
yeah.
get tired legs out there. But when you bring on players from the bench, are they going to take away from the quality that is on the pitch? And we saw with the substitutions that he made, the kind of caliber that they have on the bench, Premier League
Mm.
proven talent. We have players who have experience. Imagine Nathan Ake, he's there on the bench, who has won a treble. They have
Mm.
very good players on the bench, and that will only aid them in their efforts to get their hands on that elusive trophy.
Elusive trophy it is. Well, but a team that has, well, can tell, or maybe Kuman and his rest of the squad should be getting notes from, is the illustrious Spanish side, a team that knows what it takes to win, but also a team that knows how to show up at a tournament and be as disastrous as you can be. If the first game was anything to go by, they are facing a rejuvenated and a team that is beginning to really show up at the biggest stage. We saw how the club from Saudi Arabia showed up at the Club World Cup and put in a good performance. And since the Saudis are not here to pray, like you said, they're here to actually play this football and not to make up numbers, but to compete. Spain kicked the ball as many times and failed to do anything against lowly Cape Verde. What do you make of this encounter? What is Luis de la Fuente has to change for him to get through
Oh,
to the next round
definitely
and change
get
the
Lamine
result?
Yamal on the pitch. Definitely,
Mm.
definitely, Lamine Yamal will break down any defense on his own. They missed that creativity up front, the directness of Lamine, the directness of I almost said Inaki Williams, the other Williams brother,
Nico,
and yeah, Nico. Uh, they'll need that kind of penetration on the wing because in as good as Cucurella is, he's not good with that. He's not known for that. He's more of an off the ball kind of attacker. He loves attacking the space. He won't give you that from the wing, like they tried to use him. You have Pedri. If he goes with the same midfield three, I think they'll struggle again. They might keep the ball, especially if they don't have Lamine and Williams on the pitch, and they go with the same three in midfield. I think they'll struggle a bit. Uh, Saudi will be inspired by the performance of Cabo Verde. They will take note from that and try to replicate and even better the plan that Cape Verde put forth. Of
remember,
course, Spain will
remember the Saudis stand Argentina at the last World Cup, so they
definitely
have all the confidence.
they're trying to take as many changes as possible in preparation to host the World Cup in is it 2030
2034. Yes, 2034. That one will be they
so
will
they
be streaming live from Saudi come 2034. By the way,
definitely
yeah.
so they are they capable. I think any team at this World Cup is capable of causing an upset. We saw Curacao yesterday, last night, do a
Mm.
similar thing. There is no small team at this World Cup. I'll keep emphasizing that. Even the small nations are able to put up an upset. Saudi are no strangers to upsets themselves. Of course, we know they famously tried to derail the Argentinians' uh, match for the trophy.
Mm.
And if Spain go with an attitude with that attitude that they had against Cape Verde that they had already won, they'll be in for a shock.
They'll be in for a shock indeed. What other things have you picked out in the match day two that you'd like us to speak on, even as we'll be concluding in a few minutes? Or
Well,
what do you think we should do for?
we can mention, of course, the Curacao game as well, where it puts
Mm.
this Ecuadorian squad who were tagged as dark horses for
Dark
this
horses.
tournament. as well. They are not looking like dark horses anymore. Perhaps they might sneak in third place if all goes well against Curacao. Probably. Uh, they did perform well. Moises Caicedo was in Paris in the midfield, but of course he's not a goal scorer, so he did as much as he could. And like we had said, they are good defensively, but you cannot be depending on Ena Valencia in 2026 to get you goals. I know you might say, but what about Ronaldo? Ena Valencia is not Ronaldo, so we don't want to dig up that issue again. I think we
Yeah,
dealt with it yesterday.
yesterday extensively. Yes, we did. We did. Also, going forward, there was also a complaint that I've read online, saying there are issues of dry pitches in some, especially the MetLife Stadium being one that is being pointed out, where players, Brazil has complained. We saw Vinicius complaining, and the other teams that have played there have complained. How crucial do you think there are some factors that we are not really paying attention that are affecting the performance of some so-called powerhouses at this World Cup?
Not
How crucial is
not
that?
only the pitches, but also the football as well. The Trionda.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
complaints have arisen. I think Mendy made a complaint about it as well. I don't know if he made a
But it's coming
complaint
at the
or it's
goalkeeper's
just
faster,
Joe
yes.
Hart. Yeah, Joe Hart complained about the ball that it's similar almost to the Jabulani, which of course
I was going to
had
go
its
there.
rave reviews. But going back to the state of the pitches, you realize that most of these stadiums did not have natural grass. They were using
Yeah,
artificial pitches. America uses artificial pitches, so they were just ordered to get natural grass, and they are trying to get there. They got some groundsmen from the Premier League to help out, lay their turf. Uh, it was always going to be an issue from the get go. It was always
yeah.
going to be an issue, and expected again. Hopefully, no one gets hurt. Hopefully, it doesn't interfere with the quality of the football that we're seeing
Mm,
so far. But for now, we keep enjoying the go fests that are going on. I think we've only had 2-0-0. I think that was Cape Verde and then Curacao as well held
yeah, yeah.
um,
Mm,
held Ecuador. So we've already surpassed 100 goals.
yeah,
I think during the Netherlands game we surpassed 100 goals. So that
yeah. That's
we are entertained. We are entertained so far. But all the best to the teams that are still in it. Tunisia will welcome them.
I don't the best to the teams that Tunisia will welcome them.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So far, who is your player of the tournament so far? Early days, obviously.
Early days, obviously. I think Vinicius has shown good form for Brazil.
Mm,
He has carried that
mhm.
Brazil attack. I think he's the only attacker there that we are seeing with that quality and that game-changing quality that we know Brazilians for. Hopefully, he keeps that form even against the Scots as they play in their last and final game. They're likely to
Yeah.
meet Japan if things go well, or if things go as expected. They're likely to meet Japan, which will make for a mouth-watering encounter because Brazil going out in the round of 32 would be,
Eesh.
I
It's
think, would be worse
unthinkable.
than a 7-1.
It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. France
Definitely.
playing
For those
tonight
that are
as
in the
well.
comments, you can drop your player of the tournament so far as well in the
Yeah,
comments.
yeah,
For me,
yeah.
it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick.
Fr-
Because some for now I'll stick with if I stick with Vinicius, because he's a well-known player, we know his quality, and he's not performed beyond his quality. This is the Vinicius that we know.
Not from
For
Vinicius.
Messi, uh, he scored a hat trick, yes, but
Algeria,
then it's not.
speaking of Messi, Algeria have launched a complaint again with FIFA that Messi should have been sent off in that game against Algeria, where we saw his stud on the calf.
Well, definitely, it was a red card. I think we can't argue. We can't argue for Messi in that instance. It was definitely a red card, but we know uh, some players are refereed differently. We saw Cristiano Ronaldo being given a suspended sentence uh, for the red card so that he
The
could
red card
play in the World Cup
in the World Cup.
against DRC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So some players
yeah.
will get these favors. It's not fair. It's not good. I think it didn't even go to VAR, which was
No,
embarrassing. I think the referees should be punished. Algeria are right to claim foul. Hopefully
yeah.
they get their decision, but I don't think the result will get overturned. But those referees should not referee a game at this World Cup anymore, because that was especially the ones who were the referee. I can understand he might have missed it, maybe his positioning and whatnot. We can
But the VAR,
excuse him, but for the people who watched the replay and said that is okay, no, that shouldn't be happening at this level of football. Regardless of who it is, laws should be laws.
laws
That's
should
where I
be
leave
laws.
it.
Let's see how that goes. Let's see that how that goes. France taken to the pitch tonight. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, that game should be a confirmation of them going to the next round. Surely.
yes. They don't want to leave it late and then play against Norway to confirm that, because Norway is not. They're not playing around. They have
No, 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 no,
firepower
no.
in front.
It's scary.
They have
Yeah,
firepower in front.
those
With
are dark
of course
horses.
Solo, Odegaard, Nusa as well on the wing. So this is the where they make like they should just win even like 4 or 5 just to make a statement as well that they have arrived. I know
Yeah.
they did, but just to confirm that they have the biggest guns at this World Cup. Let them do a
The dictator of the
devastating
World
win
Cup will
against Iraq.
do that. The dictator of the World Cup will
and
surely
and
do
then
that. He will
again,
be
then again, I'm sure Mbappe will be salivating at this chance because it would, as the online people like to say, he will be start padding. Maybe he'll start pads his record as well. Takes over the record for the most goals
oh yeah,
scored
oh yes,
in a
oh
World
yes, for the
Cup.
most goals scored.
Uh,
Yeah, and also
Probably
there's a
get
small
another
matter of
hat trick.
yeah, and there's a small matter of golden boot of the tournament as well.
The
He's
Golden
won
Boot
the
as
last,
well.
yeah, he won the last one and in Qatar, so should be having his eyes firmly on
2018
that.
was Hurricane, eh?
2018 was Hurricane, yes. Then 2022 it was him. But yeah, it's been
Okay.
a marvel to watch at this World Cup, and I'm sure he'll be coming in
So
organs blazing,
this
making
is
sure
this
that
is a chance, and I'm sure Mbappe is very is very aware that tonight is a very big chance for him to take his study up there. He might not have the same opportunity again, and I'm not saying
yeah.
Iraq will be a walkover, but the
You
French
can
will
say
walk
it.
over
You can
them.
say it. You can say it. You can say it. You
There is
can
no
say it.
small
But yeah,
team, but then there is France.
but this one should be a foregone conclusion. Mark, always a pleasure. We leave it there, and let's see how the pre-tournament favorites Spain get on with Saudi, and let's see if Mbappe comes up
When's the
perhaps
Senegal
with a
game?
masterpiece. Early hours. Is it not tomorrow? I will need to check. But yeah, let's leave it there for now.
They'll
Thank you
be
so
fighting for
much.
their lives as well. the
Uh,
Senegalese. If they lose, they are
yeah,
out.
they are out. Out we are. We wait for the Senegalese.